Today on Rick's Tracks, three-wheel trains, we're going to be replacing the shell on a Lionmaster Hudson. That's coming up right now. Stay tuned.
Everybody has a neighborhood. Some are bad and some are good. No matter where you're from, I think you should come down to Carnegie Town.
Okay, here we are. The Lionmaster New York Hudson J3A. It's a 38045 model number. And we're going to be replacing the shell. If you can see here, two broken stanchions on the shell. Let me just put that there so you can see them. Broken stanchions there on the shell. I've tried different things to reattach that, and no matter what I try, it just doesn't seem to work. So I put a search in for the shell for this, and the other day it popped up on trains.com. They charged $200 for it, which is priced from, I believe, from Lionel's price list, even though Lionel's saying they're out of stock. And of course, this locomotive dates to 2006, so that's going to be a hard thing to find anyway. Now, I bought this locomotive on eBay, and when I bought it, it was sealed in its shipper, and it runs really well, and it also looks great. It had a sound was only so-so, 2006, only so-so, and smoke was only so-so. So I sent it off, and I had a super chuffer and super chuffer smoke system put in it. So now it sounds and smokes as good or better than a legacy that you're going to pay $2,000 for. So tonight that happened, and then we had our little accident. Okay, so here we are. One thing I did learn from the shell is that a couple of things are going to have to be unscrewed, but there's 6 screws that come out to release the shell. Just the 6. See, that side rail's bent a little there. We'll just bend that. All right, so get my screwdriver out. I think I'm going to magnetize this screwdriver here. That's a little better. Let's see. Got a little snag here on something is holding this on. Let's see. not a screw. There we go. And there we have it. I'm going to turn this around now. Let's see. Like I said, there's the plugs. There's a plug here. I guess that's where there's the cab light. And here is the connection for those wires. So, just take this. You can see the super chuffer attachment here. I think I might want to check the smoke unit itself too. This bulb here is black. I actually kind of coated it in black because it's on all the time, and I just may not put that cab light back in there. It's just exceedingly bright, and it doesn't really serve a purpose other than it's on all the time, and I mean all the time, and I don't care for that. So I'd rather have no light than light all the time. That's my personal preference. I'm sure that there's a way to put it so that it's switched, but I'm not going to get into that today. So it looks like just these three connections here. Just like that. And the old shell is gone. Couldn't be. That's a lot easier than I thought. And then looks like the difficult part is going to be getting the shell back on, to be honest with you. I'm going to put this here, and that was this wire. So I'm just going to connect it up the way he had it here. Just a little twist. Can you see that? I'm just twisting the wire there. And then I'm going to put the cap on it. Let's try it that way. There we go. Okay, so what I decided to do was I decided to really cover that with black paint. You see that? And then I'm gonna stick it back in the hole here. Gonna wait for it to dry. I figured while I'm here, I'm gonna take a look and see how the smoke unit's doing. Because a lot of times, you know, you get a scorched wick and you're not getting the careful. Yeah, look, that wick's pretty scorched. What I usually do in a case like this is pull it out. And it's dry too. Pull it out, turn it over, pack it back in there. Okay, what I decided to do is I'm gonna just make sure that this is packed tight. And I have this long nose needle thing, and I'm gonna put it right in the middle of the wick. Squeeze a good amount of fluid in there to saturate that wick, so that when we put this back up here, we get this back into position, screw it down, it's going to smoke like a new locomotive. put these screws on. Oh, got it? No, not quite. Make sure that that's in there. You know, at this point, when I'm doing anything like this, I always say to myself what that comedian Louis Black is famous for saying, this could go horribly wrong. This could go horribly wrong. Let's see. Horribly wrong. Want to make sure I put these in like this because I want to make sure all the holes are lined up before I tighten anything down, and then I don't tighten them all down tight as I do them. I got that one in position there, and that one's tight. Just make sure this one's going to go in. Yep, there it is right there. There we go. Right there. It's got a little light on it here. Let's see. Yeah. Everybody seems to be pretty tight. All right. Look straight, tight, ready to go. All right. Paint should be dry on this. Let's see. I'm gonna have to stick that in there. That looks like that's gonna be the most difficult thing to do. All right. This has turned out to be the most difficult part of the process so far. First of all, I had to bring in a little auxiliary light. And now I have to use these fat fingers and a pair of tweezers to feed the bulb. And there we go. That's it. Now, carefully, I have to make sure that the wires are well behind the flywheel. No pinched wires there. And if you recall, when we first started this, it didn't want to come out of the front. So let's take a look at that and see. Let's take a look at that and see what's going on here, where it's hitting. Ah, that's what's hitting right there. Pardon me. Tuck that in, slamp that down. Now, I'm holding this handrail so that I don't put any excess pressure on any of the stanchions, because this has got to be bent into the hole right here. Right there. So there we are. All right. Let's take it, put it on the track before we put all the screws in. All right, you can see I've got it powered up. Smoke unit's pouring out. Let's just turn it on. back, and as you can see in that video, it ran perfectly. Smoke worked perfectly. We just got to put the screws back in, and we're done. Here it comes. New shell and all. Lionmaster Hudson. And we're pulling baby Madisons. I just put LED lights in these. I'll put a link to that video in the description of this video. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Rick's Tracks 3 Rail Trains.